Okay, so remember the concept of God's heavenly staff team, the divine council, or the sons of God. In the Hebrew scriptures, we're told that some of these rebelled too.
When did that happen?
Multiple times, actually. After the snake comes the rebellion of the sons of God in Genesis 6. We're told that they have sex with women who then give birth to violent warrior giants.
Oh, right. The Nephilim. These are probably the strangest characters in the whole Bible.
Well, strange from your point of view, but ancient readers knew exactly what was going on. The ancient kingdoms around Israel claimed to be founded and protected by giant warrior kings who were part human, part God, and filled with divine wisdom.
Ah, I see. So the biblical authors are saying, hey, those warrior kings, they shouldn't be honored.
Right. In this story, they're portrayed as human rebels who are captive to spiritual evil, spreading their violence in God's good world.
Spiritual warfare is an ongoing struggle between good and evil, where believers are called to stand firm against the schemes of the devil. This battle is not fought with physical weapons, but through faith, truth, righteousness, and other spiritual armaments provided by God. Ephesians 6:10-17 outlines this armor, emphasizing that we must be strong in the Lord and rely on His might to withstand spiritual attacks. Just as we wear clothes daily for protection and modesty, we must don our spiritual attire consistently. Are you shielded by faith?
Shit, most people don't get to laugh. They're usually in tears and turmoil most of their lives because they're questioning themselves and this place in general. But what makes this experience so special? It's our ability to question things. Because questions create ripple effects that cause transformations in civilizations that were once primitive. It causes us to reach outside of ourselves to find out what our objective is. Shit, inhabiting it, just being here on this planet. Curiosity influences individuality, and what causes art forms and different things that distinguishes different cultures from one another, i.e. is why we have dynasties that relate to history, and you can relate it to the sports world, which is pretty much art imitating life. For example, you had the Patriots football dynasty led by, Tom Brady and Belichick. You had the Chicago Bulls with Jordan, Boston Celtics a few times. In Boston sports, if you know, you know. The San Antonio Spurs with Tim Duncan, the LA Lakers with Kobe and Shaq, the University of Alabama with Nick Saban and those guys. I can keep going on, and you understand. Then related to the empires like the Roman Empire, you had people like Alexander the Macedonian, the Persian Empire with Cyrus and King Darius, the Egyptians, all those pharaohs from King Tut to Akhenaten to Cleopatra, etc., etc. The Babylonian Empire, Nebuchadnezzar, and you understand what I'm saying. Even our empire in ancient Israel, when you had King Solomon and Ahab before we split, David. Even right now in our present day, Israel rules, but it's pretty much backwards, but it's forward. The Most High, He does everything, man. The Most High something else. If you understand what I'm saying right there, you understand. Each empire had its purpose and fell when it was supposed to. And more often than not, it was led by a generational leader. And it was probably one or two or three standouts among, that leader. And it usually failed due to egos or just another empire or team coming into play. But I could tell you, the game is over. Our modern 20th century forefathers would lose sight of why they were chosen for their position by forgetting the attributes that pretty much got them selected for the jobs. Being leaders, forerunners, letting that get to their head for the most part. It's one thing to question things, but once you think you have the answers to those questions by manipulation and basically photoshopping the real world and reality in itself to become the answer, then you become the problem of that answer in itself. And that's plagued humanity from its inception. The simple concept of our planet, outer space. I did a video very recently talking about this subject. And it's understandable that it's a very curious topic because the stars are, that concept has pretty much gave a lot of answers to a lot of our ancient, forefathers. And just a lot of our problems are caused by the stars, unfortunately and fortunately. It just depends on how you view it. I mean, we have stars here on Earth, and we see where that got us for the most part. And then we got people over those stars, and then we got people over those stars. And then it started getting kind of spooky. And you got to find where your place is for the most part. I'm pretty sure you understand the concept I'm saying. It's not really that, deep what I'm saying, but you understand. Leaving this planet, outer space. Oh, how can I explain it? It's like being in space, you're almost outside of time in a sense. For instance, our planet has a moon and a sun that regulates the seasons and the cycles, which pretty much locks us into a grid almost. But once you leave this atmosphere, you're damn near in the spirit realm with the body. And we don't have that type of technology. I'm sorry. I mean, it's called the heavens for a reason. And most people can only explore or go there in an astral body or in outer body projection. If you could go up there, you possibly could reach up there if you can. If you that advanced or in death. But most of you will be stuck here though. But that's another subject for another day. Do you know how fast you got to go in an environment where time doesn't really regulate or it's not a factor? You're not going into space going 900 miles per hour. Shit, 2,000 miles per hour. That's like crawling. You need something that's almost as fast as a fucking blink, if that makes sense. And how would you be able to survive that in this vessel? Be honest. Bro, these niggas not going anywhere, bro. Imagine moving in a big black ocean with no top or bottom that's pretty much lit up. I mean, you can see what's going on up there. And even going 1,000,000 miles per hour feels like you're swimming slowly, approaching the planet, like you're walking towards a building downtown that's far away. And as you walk slowly to the building, it creeps up slowly and slowly and slowly, and then you there. I talk about it in my previous video. Go check out my previous video. I kind of went more in depth into it. I don't really like talking about it. And you're only gonna see so much, bro. Even if you could do spiritual work. And we do have air traffic controller in this physical. We see all kind of technology all the time that's not ours, like I always talk about. There's even some near our star, near our sun. Some of these things that are seen by our sun, bro. Imagine how big these things are that move around up there. Probably they could be as big as our planet, or even bigger. I mean, the angels were originally huge. Shit, even Adam, from what I understand, was around 90 feet tall, I believe. And Eve was around 70 feet. You could fact check me on that if I'm not mistaken. But just imagine, I mean, they talk about the prehistoric shit. It is what it is. And I could put little pictures in here of the mud fossils that they found. Because there's places where it's petrified. It was an island in China, if I'm not mistaken.
Did China found dinosaurs on this mysterious island? In 2023, China sent an expedition consisting of 15 explorers and researchers to explore an uncharted island that they recently discovered. Officially, it was reported as a mission to lay claim to other lands, but unofficially, it was rumored that China had found dinosaurs on that island. 4 crew members that were on the expedition reported back that they had found 2 new species of dinosaurs, but immediately retracted their statement and were never heard from again. While another crew member, now labelled as a psychiatric patient, just said, "There is so much more out there that we don't know." Well, it's been long speculated that the Earth is larger than we're told. And with Japan recently discovering 7,000 new islands within their territory, maybe it's not a stretch that China found dinosaurs. Why is everything kept hidden from us in this world? Why can't we ever get any answers? Like and subscribe for more.
That actually that they found that had dinosaurs on it, or had these huge creatures. I mean, if you look at King Kong and those type of movies, they let you know what's up. But you know, they pretty much wiped out a lot of shit. I might put some images in here. I don't know. Fuck it. If you look in the real history that was documented by my ancestors, look up. It was the King OG, King Bashan, Bashan. I believe Moses defeated him, but he was one of the last kings of the Rephaim. Some people like that, but of course he was a Nephilim descendant, and they say he was 13 feet tall, I believe, in the Bible. They talk about Goliath and they talk about Gath, but bro, these beings were real. They took Enoch out. I mean, it is what it is. They couldn't take David out though. They couldn't take the Book of Samuel. The Book of Samuel? They couldn't take that out. It goes with prophecy, because the line of David. I mean, whatever. Whatever. And then they talk about, you know, things like spread knowledge to the 4 corners of the earth, which is a counter to, you know, maybe a low level conversation when it comes to being stuck on a flat plane. Now, by looking at that map, you could kind of see how it doesn't really pan out even with that concept, because all of the land is pretty much in certain areas. But then you look at places like Russia. I mean, even if you look at Canada or look at Antarctica, look at how it pretty much takes up almost the whole bottom of that map. So you could kind of understand why the ice wall thing would be in play. But that's neither here or there. Just check out my last video, man. It's like, bro, who gives a fuck? There's people out here that's starving. That's really our problem. We always want to run away from our problems. Niggas want to leave here and go to another place so they can do the same thing.
Speak to him, David. Tell him we came, just like he asked.
Itai, kuntum, brugtu, starsjasend. Ja hadden we staten, dat we kredastend.
Teva.
What did he say?
He asked to know why you're here.
David, continue. Tell him why I came.
Idag manemai, jana mortu steda. Kuiva, on itam sa stater kreda.
Uar nonem, ide marium kat karste.
What did he say? What did he say?
I told him you wanted to live forever. He asked why.
You know what I'm saying? 3 Little Pigs type shit. You know, just go to another place that's already fucked up. They gonna want to leave Earth and go fuck up something else. Man, you'll stay here and you'll sink, nigga, or you're gonna swim. And then humans always wanting to know things that they shouldn't know, instead of worrying about shit that's right in front of them that could help them better themselves than the collective. Black Americans especially, man. Everywhere in my city where there's a business, every corner, every three block corners of the earth face, the owner is usually Indian, Asian, you know, white. Anybody that I can relate to. Never anybody that I watch grow from the ground up. Never anybody that looks like me, came from where I came from. It's not a good feeling, man, especially knowing how I've been done personally over all these years, and the people who work together to tag along like a porch dog, probably after cloning or something. I don't know. Shit, but like I said, if it wasn't for a divine intervention, we'd be done, bro. I always ask myself, why me? And the Most High used to always say, why not me? On my come up, for the most part. Experience. This really happened like last week. It kind of, everything came to me. I'm walking through Midtown, which is a pretty prominent place in Atlanta. It's where a lot of high profile people live. It's where a lot of the LBGT community is. And I'm walking, you know, me, I stand out, and people know who I am, so it's already like a fuck, you know, when people see me like, damn, this nigga wanted some of them things. But some of the people, you know, they like, they proud, they give me the little nod, you know, they give me love. And like trying to be high profile, or most of the people just want to look a certain way, give off a certain vibe. And there was a homeless person, you know, people riding by in million, you know what I'm saying, cars and vehicles, bikes, and they not helping this dude, and they just trying to put on a facade. You know, when I look at them, to come off a certain way, and I could read you. And I helped the dude. I let him know, like, bro, I've been in your position hella times. Nobody helped me. And, you know, I was even talking, even in the store, it was an Ethiopian owner, and, you know, he gave me the bow. He did, like, the little arm cross thing, but, you know, he showed me, like, yes, bro, like, thank you type shit. The smallest thing, the smallest detail, I don't have to stunt. If anybody would stunt, it would be me. But I'm humble, bro. I mean, I know the things that I've been through. I don't got to talk about it. It'd be too much to talk about. It'd be unbelievable. And at this point, I kind of put it out here and there. I always kind of talk about certain things, but that doesn't matter. I know what I'm here to do. I know why I'm chosen. I don't know. A lot of people can't handle power at the smallest level, even at a job. You know what I mean? Even as a parent. It's a reason why certain people are put in place, like I say, and a lot of our leaders usually get foreshadowed, get blinded by a light that's false, and they become the false light. Just be careful who you laugh at, because there's things out here that you'll never understand, and you, as a normal person, weren't meant to understand. You were just meant to witness it. All praise.
I was the #1 recruit in the whole nation, coming from a little school, college school in Texas. I mean, I still have the book. It was me, Marino, and Elway were the top 3 guys.
Wow.
SC came to recruit me. John Robinson came down to see me.
Of course.
I came to SC. That's the first time I'd ever flown on a plane, a big plane.
Right.
I came to USC on a visit. Love California, but man, the thing about I'm country as hell. I mean, I wasn't ready for California at the time. I won't forget when Coach Switzer, he came to my house several times. The last time he came, I told him, "Yeah, Coach, I'm in. I want to come." And I would get my mother was sitting there, Viola was sitting there. She was real quiet, and my mother, when he walked out, she said, "You're not going to school there." I mean, what's that? You ain't going to school there. She said, I don't like that man. I don't trust him. University of Texas, they came in. One of the coaches said, "Come on, let me talk to you, son." He said, "Look like you're not interested in your state school. We know you like SMU." He said, "SMU will never beat us, ever." He said, "I'll tell you what, son." He said, "If you don't consider your state school, we'll make sure you don't get a job in the state of Texas when you get out of college." And I mean, it kind of threw me back. I think I'm a kid. I walked away from him, went back. I said, "Mama," I said, "make them leave." She said, "Huh?" She said, "I want them to leave." And she said, "What did he say to you?" And I told him. She said, "Oh, hell no, you would never go to that school." So that's why I always hated Texas. Sealy was an A&M town, very A&M. So I was getting it from all angles to go to A&M. The recruiters would show up at my house day and night. One night it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. Coach comes in my room, asks me, "What am I thinking about at 2 o'clock in the morning?" I'm like, huh? I mean, I couldn't believe it. And I told him I'm thinking about going to sleep. A&M did offer a lot. They showed my mother $50,000 in a briefcase. I committed to A&M. I really didn't want to go to A&M. The reason I committed just for all the pressure. My mother and my grandmother saw how I was just kind of down about it. They called me in the room. They said, "Are you happy with your decision?" I said, "No." SMU. My grandmother said, "I would love you just to stay in Texas, please." She said, "I'm an old lady. I can't be flying all across the country." She said, "If you could just stay in the state of Texas for me." She said, "I really like that guy at SMU, Ron Meyer." I said, "I know." I said, "I like him too." I like Coach Meyer. and it's a good school.
And he bought the dream that I sold. I told him, I said, Eric, you're going to be a millionaire. It's going to come 4 years later, but you're going to be a millionaire.
I said, I want to go to SMU. I said, I don't want to go to N. I want to go to SMU. And man, it was just like a weight had been lifted off me.
Kanye did this record and he sends the record back a totally different record.
sounds about right.
He sends it back with the So now I gotta turn it in, but his verse sounds like a totally different song. About 6 months go by, he called me out of nowhere. He goes, you remember that song you did that I did for you? I was like, yeah. He's like, I wanna keep it. I said, yeah, whatever. Do you mind if I keep your ad-libs on? This is why I know he's genius.
Yeah.
He said, do you mind if I keep your ad-libs on? Yeah. So the song comes out. Huge, but my ad-libs are in the song. So everybody listens to the song on the radio waiting for my verse to come in. I'm watching 80,000 people. It's crazy. I look at, because Jay-Z and Beyonce there, and I look at him, I said, I think I fucked up.
I had a dream I could buy my way to heaven. When I awoke, I spent that on a necklace.
This guy nearly won the Heisman twice, and he went to a school that you've probably never heard of. When you look at almost every Heisman finalist list, you pretty much see all of the same Power 4 schools: Oklahoma, Alabama, Ohio State, Oregon, Miami, Holy Cross, an FCS school. This is Gordon Lockbaum, also known as Gordy. And Gordy is one of the greatest workhorses in college football history that just happened to attend and play football at Holy Cross. Lockbaum was a starting cornerback during his freshman season, and eventually was moved to strong safety in his sophomore season. But I don't think he had any clue what was to come next. But first, if you love the deepest sports lore stories out there, drop me a follow. The coaches saw his potential, and to be honest, it wasn't even potential at this point. Defensive coordinator Kevin Coyle said, and I quote, "He was just the best we had at both spots," talking about offense and defense. So for Gordy's junior and senior seasons, he played both DB and running back, and a little bit of wide receiver, I think, and also returned kicks. The guy was everywhere. I mean, he was a madman. In the game against Army, he was on the field for 143 of 171 total plays. That is absurd. And you might be thinking, oh, this can't be sustainable. Wrong. He only got better. In his junior season in 1986, these were his stats. In a game against Dartmouth that season, he had 6 touchdowns and would finish 5th in Heisman Trophy voting that season. But in the next season, his senior season in 1987, these were his stats, and he'd finished 3rd in Heisman Trophy voting that season. Gordy would finish out his college career not long after and was drafted in the 9th round, there were a lot of rounds back then, of the 1988 NFL Draft to the Steelers. He played the entire preseason for the Steelers as a running back, but unfortunately was released. But it's still crazy that...
I'm not trying to be egotistical at all, but I fall in love with a lot of these guys. And I'm convinced if I coached them, I could help these guys be really good. That's how sick I am. I mean, we led the NFL in offense with Ty Detmer, who was a backup Green Bay didn't want. Nobody wanted Rich Gannon. He comes to the Raiders, he kicks everybody's ass. We won a Super Bowl with Brad Johnson, the Bull. And I just think this, if you were there with us in Green Bay when we traded for Brett Favre, nobody really thought Brett Favre was worth a first-round pick. And Mike Holmgren told Mariucci and Andy Reid and myself, we're going to make this guy successful. And when he's successful, we'll have jobs. If he's not successful, we'll be gone anyway. But my point to you guys is, I think a lot of these teams nowadays change offensive coordinators like they change shirts. And I don't know how many guys really truly relish the daily development of the quarterback like they did years ago.
Look at this stuff. This is history here. You're history.
This is garbage. I can say I bled for garbage.
So this is meaningless?
No, at one time it meant a lot. When you're just a young kid, this is everything to you. But then you realize your priorities change. And you just want your children to be happy and do nice things, and that makes you happy. This is nothing.
I'm
in a world where clone is accepted more than being an individual. Being an individual is weird. I mean, let that sink in, bro. Shit, it's knocking, and I know your hands dirty, bitch. It's blood everywhere. It's all over them. I already speak on the experiences I've had, you know, industry-wise when it comes to music. I've been in those meetings. I've been to houses. I've been to those. I'm not going to stick to the parties. I got invited to it was a Def Jam party, a private event in Atlanta, and a ceremony with Organized Noise. I've been to some places, you know, a couple times by myself. I've had many experiences with family and friends. I have no clue. It got really bad, bro. I remember friends would literally, I'm not even gonna get into how I look, but my sound, bro, in itself, it was like classical music mixed with like a lot of the EDM, that EDM sound that's like kind of trap, and it was a lot of elements in it, and then I could do every genre as well. And this 2014, 2013, 2015, you know, I'm making some wild shit, bro. And, you know, I'm getting a buzz. Like, I had a fan base and everything. I remember it was times where I wouldn't say I was kind of falling back, but there was a lot of things going on. It really is factors to make you get rid of things, because I lost hella laptops, hella phones. I have no pictures, no profiles of like my old IGs and what with all these 20K followers, and like I literally have really no evidence of anything. When I do come across evidence of like when I was coming up, it's really like by a miracle, if you could understand. Like I was really wiped out, bro, like 2 or 3 times, but by the grace of God. But I could just say it was times to where my friends, even not even the labels and the executive, the people that I was working with, but I just say my friends, it was a time to where they didn't want to use like my sound. They didn't want to use certain beats. And I'm telling them like, bro, if you hop on this, because one of the things the execs really stressed was me finding a particular artist for my sound, even though they didn't want me to use my sound. They wanted me to use other producers, and they wanted me to write for other, you know how it goes. They didn't want me to kind of have a lot of power. But my friends didn't want to really use my sound. But years later, I'm not going to say certain artists, I'll just say certain. Years later, like Rod Wave or Young Boy or Pop, the Uzi and all them, Cardi, shit, who Amigos, like they be like, hey bro, make a beat like that. You know what I'm saying? Like make a beat like that shit, bro. It like Gunna, it'd be exactly like my shit. Like they know what the fuck they doing. It'd be like a fucking Chinese, what's like that Kodo thing? It'd be like that with like something, and they'd be like, bro, make a beat like that, bro. Make a but bro, it'll be my beat. You know, just little shit like that I had to deal with, and that's not even evil. I remember going through certain shit and niggas literally laughing. You know, niggas literally coming around. I could see it, like white, black, all that. Bro, I went through a lot of shit, bro. And that's not even on talking about the attempts on my life. That's just, you know, just a day in my life for years was like that, bro. I truly believe all black people need is confidence. They already had the most confidence of every race, but it's truly fake. That's why we so superficial, and we pretty much personify the outside first before everything. We get our ass whooped by every nation, from the laws, the television, media portraying us a certain way. Like I said, the stores in our neighborhood. You know, I believe once we're secure in ourselves, we'll even, for the most part, suppress the envy that we do have when it arises, and want the best of the best for our team. Want build the best squad. And Magic doesn't solve everything. These people have taken action and done magic through CIA, the FBI. In the end, God has the final word, the final say. If you claim him in any way, he'll test you. And if you're broken, you wasn't worthy of, being a part of his team. It's a lot of worthless people out here that are only useful for this world, for this place we're in now, where we live, this planet, this progression. Everything has a place. It's like an initiation, for the most part, since the beginning of the time. With if you have any group, or what I mean, any place of status, you're not gonna let anybody in. That's in the low level with celebrities. But shit, God will use people. I already made a video talking about all the celebs and the people I came across. A lot of these people pretty much steered generations. They kind of shaped generations. Even the normal people, everyday people I ran into, it was for a reason, and I talk about that on previous videos. You run across people because they ask for you, and they either do right by you and get what they ask for, or they pretty much sabotage it, and that was their only chance, or that was you understand what I'm saying. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you all have met certain people in the same sense, whether it was somebody of high profile status. I'm pretty sure that they shaped your life or shaped one of your uncles, or God chose them for their position. And the people that come across you in life, it was the same thing, like I said. I'll get into this gang stalking thing, how I beat it. The strategies of pattern recognition, seeing the same vehicles do the same thing in different areas for months before I go near the location, I understand has been compromised for the most part. If I stand in one area and go to the other side of the street, I could pretty much, because all of the streets in the United States, for the most part, are very similar. So you could already kind of understand where nooks and crannies and certain cars and places like high rises, or where balconies are. So I kind of factor in those type of things. And you can use pattern recognition, and that could go for every place you go. I'm talking about every neighborhood you go to with a similar area, every bus station, every grocery store. After a while, you could see the people go to the same place before they go there. Seeing different types of hitmen, how they dress, how they look, certain keywords, knowing certain unmarked cars, the decoys, the CIA decoys, the FBI decoys. They even point themselves out now. I've traveled the world. I've been to different islands. I've been to Asia. I've been to motherfucking South America. I already talk about this, man. I done been in a lot of situations that kind of showed me how different cultures operate, even, if that makes sense. America kind of is the most sophisticated, though, from what I have gathered. From inside to outward when it comes to people around you. Let them show you who they are. Observe the 3 degrees of separation, and you will see the operation, if that makes any sense. Somebody always knows somebody. That's why you could grow so fast when it comes to being someone of affluent status. I also factor in things like the hood being dead. Growing up in the hood, it was actually a safe space where nowadays it's pretty much an organized crime station. There are cameras everywhere, gentrification everywhere, so the crime is more strategic and more in order. The moles and plants are living freely and able to be agents of chaos, and the string pullers and throw rocks and hide their hands way easier. Who the main person is at this point that has put everything against me, like I kind of talk about my family and friends, like it was a point in time where everybody was kind of coming against me and they were almost afraid. It was very fascinating. And I know some things, but I just need a little bit more. I remember a girl that used to work with me overnight. She said a white man gave her something in like some type of card and some shit, and she described him to me perfectly and gave me his number and said it pertained to my current situation and kind of why she got the job there. I never really caught on, but recently I kind of realized that she was helping me. Another thing, I'm famous. People know who I am. People know my story. People watch me go through certain things. A lot of people chastise me. A lot of people were there when I was, really unique, and people were like, what the fuck? What is this nigga? And they started following me from there. A lot of people know me from, I worked a lot of different places, and I had a certain spirit about me. Even before all of this stuff. And people always knew that it was something about me and something over my life, but whatever. But I'm kind of like a paradigm. Well, because how can you gang stalk somebody that everybody knows who they are? Isn't the main objective to make the person think that they're seeing things and they're the only people seeing things? Maybe I'm tripping. Co-workers will watch people do stuff and have a face like, damn. Like, even like the strangers on a train will see me and begin to pick up the patterns, which proves my existence. You can't deny certain shit with your own eyes. I'm like an oxymoron. How can you kill somebody that has helicopters? All, you know what I'm saying? Monitor, you know what I mean? Like, always got fucking cameras on them, or always got somebody watching them. And at this point, I go somewhere, everybody know who I am. So it's kind of like, how can you even touch this person? I pretty much done broke through the base, right? And you know me, I'm a regular nigga. I ain't shit. I'm this, I'm that. I don't know what they done said. I don't know what they told you, but you know what they said about me. I mean, of course, everything I'm saying is no merit behind it. What's the definition of doing something over and over and over and over again, expecting different results? At this point in time, the conspiracy people at best are they ask questions, referring back to the beginning of the video. But the people that so-called have power and think that they can handle it, what are they? I mean, shit, I was born in Vegas, bro. Flashing lights, loud noises everywhere, nigga. What type of, like, say we on the fucking strip and the niggas will bring a fucking fire truck. What type of dumbass